Good morning, everyone. Was an addict here. I am going to share my addiction story. I've been in and out of addiction, and I normally get clean and last about 6 months, and then get back on it, and then go hard, and then try stop. But I never realized that I was an addict until I tried to go past that 6 months. And that year that I got clean in 2019, when I passed that 6 months, I was like, oh wow, like I'm craving this shit every single day. And that's where it started. I thought, wow, I'm a real addict. I can't stop using. I went into my recovery, and I did have a relapse on drink, and I think I was about 8 months into my recovery off meth and alcohol. So I had a drink, and that was all right. I loved it. I had a good drink, and then I did it again. But the thing is, every time I drank, I called up to get on it. When I drink, I have no control whatsoever. I make bad decisions, I do stupid things, and I end up back on it because I can't have just a drink. I want the whole lot. So I think I got into a year, and I was, a couple of drinks, maybe two drinks in that year. Like, I didn't drink full on all the time, but I drank when I felt like I was missing something. I drank when I felt like those emotions had built it up, and I need to release, so I had a drink. I got to 1 year, and I was like, yeah, baby, I've made it past a year. I've got this, and I felt really good about it, but still really struggling, like severely. And then 3 days later, I relapsed, and I had a drink, and I got on the ice, and I only got a little bit of a puff on a foil, and I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. But then I went another 8 months after that. And 8 months down the track, I actually got to smoke it through a pipe, and I bought a couple of bags. And I drank, and I got high, and I ate the Valiums, and I fucking loved it. Right? I loved it. So I come to terms that this 8 months after my first relapse, I decided that, look, I've got to stop drinking, because this is going to lead me down that path every single time. So I started on a journey of giving up alcohol and meth together. And I got through. I made it 1 year. I'm about 1 year, 9 months now. But with severe struggle, like I have more down days than I have up. But I have a plan. Every time I have those down days, I've got a plan of what I got to do. And when I have those good days, I really got to keep up with my recovery. And that's how I got through. Only recently, I went for a stage of craving drink and wanted to give into it after that many months. It's been 1 year, 8 months. I thought, why are these triggers? And why is this feeling coming so deep right now? And I was this close to throwing it away. And everything that I was choosing to help me in the past when it comes to my plan were not working. Like, I had convinced myself that I had done really well, and I really deserve to have a drink, right? But if I did drink, it would have devastated me. I've put so much effort into this. And, I know this now, that you don't need drink to be okay or be happy. Of course, you go through mental illness and you go through a lot of down days, but there's days where you will be there and you'll go, fuck, this is awesome. This is heaps cool. This is why I push through. I've got a lot of things to offer the world, and so do you guys. It's just about finding your feet. And oh, my fucking bra is strangling me. Finding your feet and what works with you, and reach out. I know that recently when I had those cravings and I had that really bad thought, I felt like I restarted my recovery before I even drank. When I had that, I reached out. I reached out to mental health. They were calling me daily. They were calling me daily on the phone. I was honest about it. I said, look, I'm fucked up, and I think I'm going to drink, and I don't want to be here anymore, and blah, 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 blah. And I cried. Like, I cried so much, and I do look back now, and I see there was a lot of things that I put myself through in those last 2 months. And of course, I've been battling this disease all my life since I was 16. So of course I'm going to have those days where I think, oh my God, this is too much. As much as I'm in recovery, it's just as hard to be a recovering addict than it is to be an addict. You got to think more, you got to use your mind more, you got to really fucking get your shit together. And you got to face those emotions and that feeling that we once masked that we once crushed with our addictions, you know, and facing that when you're straight is probably the hardest thing that you will do. And that's what I say all the time, guys. Start to research yourself. Start to get to know yourself. I used to stand in a room with myself and I hated myself. My mind was so loud I couldn't shut it up. You know, I'd blare the music so I couldn't hear my mind think, you know. But eventually I trained it where I can sit in a room complete silence and I don't hate myself anymore. And I don't let my mind overthink and be the power of the room. You know, I can sit there and relax and really enjoy the moment. And that's due to researching and knowing the things that help me get into that pattern and that state of mind, you know. I've done a lot of things in my recovery. You know, I've done it solo, but I've put everything in. You know, if you want to change, we've got to really put everything in. No matter what it is that you choose to change your life with is, you know, the thing is when you go into recovery, you got to change everything, you know, and that's a tough thing, you know. I went into recovery not knowing shit. You know, I didn't know how to do many things and I had to go through these things on my own. I couldn't reach out because I needed to learn myself. You know, I've been isolated from the world and my dinner's been made for me every night, you know. My mum cleaned up for me every day, you know, so I had to really learn all this shit, you know, when I got into recovery. And now I'm solid, you know, I know how to handle my shit, you know. When I have down days, I get into bed and I just relax. As long as I meditate and I do stoic, I can sleep all day, you know. But I had to learn all that kind of stuff, and that comes with recovery, guys. You got to really start searching yourself and start to know yourself. You know, I changed my whole entire image, you know. I changed the insides, I changed my mind, I changed the way where I was living. You know, I changed my habits, I changed my room from being changed all the time to not changing it because that was a coping mechanism. So yeah, it's really, you got to get deep, and if you do it my way, that's how you do it. But if you don't, there's AA meetings, there's NA meetings, there's counselling, there's the thing that Ray gets, you know, there's lots of stuff out there. So start trying it all. And just remember that we're here together. So get into the chat that we have, private chat, get into there and keep in contact with us all. Let us know what you're going through. You know, I try to get on there every day and just share my story or just say good morning, you know, because if there's anyone out there that knows what you're going through, it's us, the ones that have recovered, that still struggle, don't forget, that are there to help you, guide you, you know, at least be that call from you making that mistake of going back. And it's a journey, guys. It takes a while, you know. It's, if you watch any of our pages, go from what they do, you know, what sits with you, go with it. What makes you feel good, go with it. And just really try to put your head on your pillow every afternoon. Once you go to bed, you restart again. So just concentrate. And in that between, you know, if you get up at 6 in the morning and you go to bed at 5 or whatever, I used to get up at 5 and go to bed at 5, work that 8 hours, whatever it is, to that time when you can go into bed. And don't sit on things, you know. Leave that time in bed for the stuff that will start to relax you. You know, I don't go on TikTok until the afternoon when I get into bed. That's my allowed time to do that. Before that, during the day, I got to do the proper stuff, you know. I got to keep my shit together. Then I get into bed and then I watch TikTok, and then, you know, my sleepiness starts, you know. And I don't stay on it all day, all night, sorry. I kind of change it around, so it's only an hour or two. It's being in a routine and having that structure to really push forward in your recovery. All right, guys, love you lots. Was an addict, yeah.